Okay, so here I am with 9 squares again. Actually, I kind of ironed them with the thoughts of piecing them. And I used a 1.5 inch square this time. I mean, I've been using 1 inch squares forever, and you know, it's not that important to be so loyal to everything you do that you're never going to move outside of that. So I've changed my size. And I just chose colors that were close enough to the original rainbow colors, and I added a brown, and I was going to do black, but I ended up with gray because that was what was there, and white, which is not so white. And that gave me kind of a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and then these neutrals to work with, which I like the addition of the neutrals. And then I start noticing things, like how different it would be if they were next to each other, and then how different they are when they're spaced out, and how this one sort of even goes away because it's on the same color background. And I just look at them for a while. I can't tell you how many of these I've actually made in my life. But then, well, I've done this a lot, and I've sewed them together a lot. I thought maybe I could just utilize maybe some of the white things that I had. This is one of those bases that I made when I asked myself, what if I stretch the squares out of shape? And it's just kind of like a ground of all not so whites. It seems kind of skewed. And I thought, well, okay, what if I look at it on some not so whites? This is just something I do. I mean, it's not really that I'm thinking about anything in particular. I'm just doing it. So then I'm thinking, also, what if I change the colors around? I mean, I do this kind of thing just because I like to look at what's happening. And then, also, instead of just using colors, I also do this pairing thing. This is like when I just take a couple of scraps that I like together and I sew them together so that they stay together for a while. Because then I have other things to work with. So this is the process where I start someplace and then I start doing something else. These pairings can also just sort of be one thing on top of another. That works too. I like having them. They go back into the scrap basket sometimes, and they stay together as combinations, and I like that too. Because I also like compounding colors to see how they look together, and then how they don't look together on the same place. And I'm really not doing anything significant here, but I do like this kind of thing where, you look at something and then you look at it on something else and you notice how the color has changed. Like, this kind of became greenish but I'm not like, doing anything where I'm saying, okay, I'm going to write that down and remember it. I'm just noticing it. At the same time, I'm thinking, maybe I can just work around this 9 about how that expands my number of colors. Boy, I'm probably not significantly talking about anything here. What if there's a whole bunch of one color and then only a little bit of the other color? Well, I also like weaving a bunch of colors together. That gives you a nice variation on one color, and then you start to see the other colors. Like, what if one color could be a rainbow? I mean, this one is kind of yellowish. This is about bluish. This becomes kind of gray, but they are all greens, right? And how different these colors seem. You know, there are some things that really do work. I also like how when you put gray on anything, it becomes almost part of the scheme. It almost absorbs the other colors and, well, this is what I'm doing today. I'm trying to just play around. And I want to make some color samplers. I do want to do that. I have absolutely no thoughts in my head except looking. Just looking. I don't like pink much, but I don't really mind it there. You know, maybe just taking if you want to learn about color, maybe you can just take the things that you usually do with paints from a color theory book and just do it in cloth. I mean, the point is to just experience it, not necessarily create any rules out of it. But the more you look, the kind of more you learn. These are just amazing, aren't they? They're so cute. A lot of times my scrap basket just has pairs of colors, because color combinations and using color is really combining color, isn't it? It's like pairing colors, one color with another color. To see how that looks.